In this episode, we discuss what it was like being close to Hurricane Milton, changes to our Transforming Trauma World Tour, and the release of our new Behind the Reel series, where we meet with people with complex cases to take them through a full life transformation. We hope you enjoy the video. Remember to subscribe for more content.
Sync up. Okay. Breathe in. Get a good sync up. Get a little bit of oil. Bring our hearts together. Some of the most powerful things that we do, it's essential oil wizardry. I've used these oils, the chakra series. I put them on my body every day. I've done treatments since 2011. And I believe that's why I've been able to process so much more.
Yeah, and they smell good.
And they smell good.
So much appreciation for Dr. Nick.
And Ellen?
Feathers.
Yeah.
You have a feather too.
Yeah, and I want people to go and check out Essential Oil Wizardry, and there's a heart one, but there's a whole chakra series, and there's a couple other ones that we use. Ascension is another one, peppermint, of course, psychic protection after working on people. These are all things that we use on a daily basis to help better our lives, because we travel a lot, we're on the road a lot, and we are touching and interacting with people all day long. And so if we're not in balance, the world around us is out of balance. And these are some of our tried and tested tools.
Mm-hmm.
That one and psychic protection.
Yeah. So we're in Miami in the middle of a hurricane.
You never know it. But
It was a little windy last night.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like there was a lot of extra news on how bad it was.
yeah, and for those of you that are in or have people in Tampa or the areas that hit, I mean, they were hit hard. But the amount of fanfare around people, like we were out of the zone and scared about it. There was a lot of news about us having to hunker down, and we pulled all the chairs inside. And there's a lot of excess fear.
Yeah, even I was on a call and my mom came behind and she was like, tornado warning. And she was like putting things inside, and I thought, normally I would have like this fear response or like I should do something, but I didn't feel at all like there was a reason to be worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even with the hurricane, I knew that we were taken care of irrespective.
Speaking of hurricane warning,
That's a
that's a tornado warning that we're currently getting.
Where is
Oh, that's too funny. Perfect timing. You can't make that up.
Can't make that up.
Oh, here we go.
Tell us what it says.
The south and north bridges connecting to the island are now open. Emergency alert. So that's really funny because we haven't had an alert since yesterday, but we're having all these alerts, and the tendency is to watch the news and watch for the reports and to protect and to hoard and to buy all this toilet paper and water and all these things. And I don't think I've taken any actions. Like, I haven't done any of that stuff.
As a matter of fact, I wasn't even worried when we were having more to put away. It didn't come to me. And this, I mean, there's part of it which is this, is that if it's going to affect me directly, I want to take an action, and that's the right thing to do. But it's the amount of fear that goes into things that I can't control. And because I was having somebody called me the other day, 2 days ago, and said, "Are you worried about the hurricane coming in?" And I'm like, it's not going to hit here. And furthermore, if I didn't know that somebody was in a hurricane, it wouldn't impact my life. 100 years ago, those decisions didn't impact my life because of digital media. We can bring the stories to people, but we happen to bring mostly the ones that cause fear and panic. Mm-hmm. And that hurts our nervous systems, and it's part of what's keeping us unhealthy.
Yeah. And it went from a 5 to a 1 almost immediately when it hit Tampa, which is, I mean, we don't have to get into like why or what could possibly be happening there, but it does seem like there was a bit of a purpose for getting people out of the area. So we are in Miami. We've made some adjustments and pivots.
I want to talk about that so everybody has an update. We've decided to change the tour, and it wasn't because we didn't want to. There's things that people have been changing.
Mm-hmm. Well, even part of it, I think the biggest day where everybody was preparing for the hurricane, the feeling was, and it wasn't even about the hurricane. It was about everybody. It felt like everybody was going back home to safety. When fearful situations come up like 9/11 or a natural disaster, people go home, they collect their resources, they protect themselves, and then they start to consume content again, or they watch TV. And the feeling for me specifically when that was all happening, it feels like the whole world is kind of going back into their homes and their isolation, because that's where they feel safe. And that has a massive impact on people's behaviors, where they go, what they do. And I think that that's starting to happen again as we move into November.
Well, it's the third year. It's 2 years to build a feeling or a habit. And for 2 years, every November, we were pushed back into our homes. Mm-hmm. September, and then October, November. And so it feels like people are just naturally going back to where they feel safe, irrespective of what their life situations are. And granted, there's a lot of natural disasters, an unusual amount happening around the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the same feeling as when COVID had come up. It was like this eerie feeling of feeling very distant from everybody, like everybody was kind of going into their own place, their own hiding. And that same feeling's coming up right now, and I feel we're getting the feelings in our bodies. And then I was talking to a bunch of the coaches yesterday, and they were validating that feeling. I said, I feel very disconnected from the general public, but when I was talking to them, they were mentioning how people were going home and isolating and kind of grounding themselves in their space. And so if that's the energy and that's what we're going into over the next few months, people aren't necessarily going to feel safe to leave their home to go to an event or to come and transform trauma with us, or travel, or leave their country. So for us, I feel like the timing is perfect for us releasing Behind the Reel, which is really an opportunity for people to see what we do at a deeper level. Mm-hmm. Like, we're filming one-on-one treatments with children or with people who have really complex issues, and we're sharing that. And that gives people an opportunity to watch, inside how we handle different situations with the body. Like if somebody comes in and they have autoimmune disease, how do we talk to them? What maneuvers do we do? How do we address that? What's the story and what's the end result of working with them? And now people will get to see that in a very intimate way with this new series. So that's, I think we were talking about this, like, how do people learn to help others? There's a number of steps. One is you learn all the theory and you watch it and you consume it and you write it down and you try and memorize it. 2 is you go and you just practice what you've learned on others. And then 3 is you watch somebody who's actually taking like a case study or like a real situation and how we address that. And this is going to kind of give that complete piece to the training that we've been looking for, which is we've told people everything, we've given them all the tools, but they haven't really seen us do it in action.
Correct, yeah.
So it's that next step. And the stories of real people who have real issues, who are going through real transformations through this process, people will get to watch that now. And I think is one of the most exciting things about what we're creating on the back end. And now we've released it in our Behind the Reel series so people can consume that. Like, instead of going to Netflix and watching something that's brainwashing and also not adding much education or value, you can go and watch something that's real and entertaining and delivers a lot of education along the way.
Well, this is actually upscaling. It's not. This is Netflix quality that we're shooting at, and that's been a really big investment on us. Mm-hmm. So part of it is to bring these stories and the reality of the situation. It's to film at this level, which costs a lot of money. Yeah. Behind the Reel, we've set a goal now this year to bring in $10 million through donations. And whether they're a $5 or $10 or $20 donation, or they're a $200,000 or $500,000 donation, it's really important because we're now actively driving content into 80 different countries. Like, we went down to Cartagena, We did the event there. We brought the supplements. There was no charge to anybody there. And we want to push through and open these lines of communications with more videos, but we also want training programs to go into schools, educational programs that can be repurposed. And to do that, that's what Behind the Reel is about, really. It's saying the things that we can't say always on social media, either the time or the content, and then allowing us to develop another scope of fundraising.
Well, it's also, I mean, even in the last 5 months, we've invested over $1 million in helping people. And, you know, this free movement that we started is becoming extremely expensive, which is fine. I mean, we knew that we would eventually scale to a point where we're going to have to build a team. And we're going to have to bring in resources to support this movement. Like I want to go to like the Philippines, for example, in December, that is being loosely planned right now. You know, that's an investment, and that takes resources, and we got to send people and bring things to a country that can't afford healthcare. And part of what we're doing is saying, okay, well, you know, we want to go on this world tour, we want to visit the world, and we want to share this with 1 billion people, but there's certain things that we need in order to make that happen. So, you know, raising $10 million will allow us to travel the world and share this movement and do it in a really effective manner without putting too much stress on us. Because we're a small team. We've been doing this, you know, going in and out, and people ask us all the time, how do we do it? You know, how are you traveling like this and helping so many people and not wearing yourselves out? And part of it is because we're doing it right, and we're doing it in a way that takes care of ourselves in the process. But this, to continue doing something like this, it's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of support from our community to make it happen. And that'll allow us to go to countries like Australia and the Philippines and, you know, New Zealand, I think would be kind of cool. Like going to different countries where people don't have access to this type of information and sharing this message is our goal. And if people have the financial resources to support us in helping people, that's really what we want to do. We want to bring them together and use the funds to create these programs.
And that's what we've created these programs, even like the children's program, without any funds, just on our own. And now it's to take it to the next level. So you mentioned Australia. It's time to talk about. We had a big plan to go to Australia, and Australia and Europe right now. As we were making our plans, we have learned to go with the flow, and we started getting resistance. And resistance is locations and venues and things. Just nothing was working out. And there's been a greater feeling amongst us that we're not either going to want to travel during that time, or we're not going to be able to. And there's been a very, very strong feeling. Now, we also said, you know, months and months ago that this is where the world would be today. And literally, it's exactly the way we said. It's that same feeling that's guiding us. So we're pushing Australia off and pushing London off into next year. We're not exactly sure when yet, but we will be getting back to those dates.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's right now, I think uncertainty is the new normal, and everybody wants to know exactly what the plan is or where they're going or what's happening, but that's becoming more and more gray, I think, for everybody in the world. No matter, even the psychics and the highly intuitive people that I talk to don't see very far into the future anymore, and that's just the reality. I think that now anything is possible, and I think that the pieces are moving so fast that to make those kinds of decisions are becoming,
Always trust that
it's
we're being
different.
led in the
Like
right
our
direction,
process of
because we
making
always have
decisions
been.
of where
So
we're
yeah,
going to go and what we're going to do is changing. Like we can't operate in the same way. That is the past. And I think that it's being validated to us. Like we're saying, hey, we're going to go here. And then all of a sudden, all these signs along the way say, wait a minute, you need to pause this. And that's what we're doing. We're pivoting.
We're listening.
Yeah, we're listening to it. And it becomes hard sometimes for the community because they're trying to figure out where we're going next. But we're honestly just doing the best that we can. I mean, with all the pieces that we have, with such a small team, and everything changing around us in the world, it's like we're pivoting and we're adapting so that we can continue to function. So
Always trust that we're being led in the right direction, because we always have been. So
Yeah.
we just keep doing that.
yeah.
So, and how we maintain and manage, because we all have different things. Like Aisha's not with us here today, but we still need to update everybody and let you guys know what's going on. But that's part of it is that sometimes we have to break up so that we can maintain home balance with Maxine and family.
Yeah. Well, it's another thing too that we've opened up for everybody is one-on-one treatments. And, even a couple of years ago, we said we would no longer work with people in a one-on-one capacity because that didn't help us achieve our end result of reaching 1 billion people. However, along the way, we have helped people who were unable to receive help, had really complex issues, and it would help build belief for our community that this is really powerful practice. But now we're opening it up, and we're opening it up for a different reason. So we've put out a one-on-one treatment application form. It's more of a life reset experience, and it was to bring people in who, they want to receive help. They haven't been able to find any solutions. They've been doing the fascia maneuvers for a while. They believe in our mission and our movement, and they want to share their story with our audience. And we've put this form out that you can apply and let us know what you're going through and why you want to receive help. And we're filming the content of us helping these people, and we're sharing that in the Behind the Reel series. And that allows people to see how we handle the situations like we were talking about before, but it also allows us to build belief around the world and how powerful working with fascia really is. And with just a couple of simple things, people can really have a big transformation. So, we're opening it up for that. We're not able to help everybody. Usually it's like 4 to 5 people per week, depending where we are. And we're filming these sessions. And for the people that we can't help, we're starting to build a pilot program where we send them to some coaches that they can book sessions with. And we're testing this out to see, if they can't receive help in the outside world, what if they came to a fascia maneuvers coach and did an online session with somebody in our community? And this bridges the gap between people who are helping people in our community, teaching fascia maneuvers, and people who are unable to receive help elsewhere. So maybe we can build that connection and help them.
And they'll be able to get the link to that form. They'll be get it in our social media, on our link tree, and on our website.
Yeah, and we'll put it in the link of this video.
Yeah.
People can sign up for a one-on-one treatment. And really, we're looking for people who have a story to tell, who have a transformation ready.
So there's a difference. A transformation treatment that we do.
Yeah.
And then one-on-one with a coach.
Yeah, if we're not able to meet with the person right now, we'll send them to some coaches, and they can pick their coach. They can book a session. It's online via Zoom, and they'll take them through some fascia maneuvers to see if they can help them.
Now, we also got the chance to step out of our bubble, because when everybody comes to us, and boy, was that shocking.
We did step out of the bubble.
When everybody that comes to us, they're generally on a quest to make their lives better. But when people maybe have another objective, whether it's political or otherwise, and they're not in the quest to make their lives better, the journey was really interesting. So we went to Rescue the Republic, and we were with RFK and Russell Brand, and I got the chance to present on stage and get everybody to go through fascia maneuvers. And there's tens of thousands of people and millions of people online. It's a new step for us in media, along with what we did with KFLA and got rebroadcasted through NBC. These are all things that are taking us to another level, but I wanted to mention something, because there's a couple questions. People say, well, do you support them? And one of the things I want to continue to say is that whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or left or right, or whether you are a specific race or military or not military, or whether you are dark and evil or you are a saint, likely you go to Whole Foods or to some grocery store and some hospital at the end. And we're not discriminating against who. What we're concerned about is the people that are involved in getting our message out. Because when even people are divided, they tend to not take care of themselves. And this is one of the most powerful things. It was really cool to see 10,000 plus people touching their bladder at the same time. Mm-hmm. No, but honestly, they all did it. Yeah. And that was really the cool thing. It just means that people have a willingness to take care of themselves. And the only reason they would continue through the whole thing, the 20 some odd minutes that I did it on stage, is because the first part of it worked, and it was something that gave benefit.
Yeah, and I mean, we had a conversation about this, like, what is the perception of our community on us if we go to these events? And, part of it was, if we want to reach 1 billion people, there's certain things that we need to do along the way. And whether or not we agree with the overall message of an event, or or want to move in that direction, there's an audience there that, you know, has pain and trauma and emotions trapped in their bodies, and we want to help them. So if we get put on stage over the next year or few months to share fascial maneuvers and share self-healing, we're going to take those opportunities. It doesn't mean we necessarily support anything that's happening at the event, but we will maximize our ability to reach people. And that's the end objective, is to talk to people, share self-healing. And also, it's like everything going on right now, the people are being divided on how they believe, and we're just saying, hey, if you take care of yourself, none of that matters anymore. So
we actually, that being said, is we have ourselves coming out on all kinds of different media sources, new podcasts that have been done about us, and we want to announce officially that there is a documentary, a full-length documentary done on us that's going to appear on streaming services and in theaters, and through the channels of distribution, the shows. What are they called?
Apple.
No, the film festivals.
Film festivals, yes.
Yeah, and the company is named Diorama. They did The Game Changer as one of them, which was the most watched documentary in all of sports history. And it was on LeBron James and his journey. And they've done 65 films, and they're fully funded. And they're doing a full documentary on us. And we just started the process where they're interviewing us, and super excited because we're actually taking a documentary of them documenting us.
Behind the scenes.
We got behind the scenes of the documentary.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think just to wrap up today, it's really, I think the next few months is going to be a war on perception. And for us, it's just to keep focused and keep sharing our message and staying out of the division and the news and the politics and everything that's happening, and to just continue to capture real stories of real people and our story of helping people. And that's what I encourage everybody to do, is just stay out of the war on perception. Stay off of the news, stay out of that stuff, and just take care of yourself, because it's needed now more than ever to go inside and work on your own bodies.
So we're going to be announcing over the next little while cities where we may show up to do part of the Behind the Reel series. And again, Behind the Reel is you have 90 seconds on YouTube or on Instagram. You've got 24 minutes on YouTube as a little docuseries, and this is the hour and a half or conversations or continuing conversations around those stories. Mm-hmm. Some of it we can share, some of it we can't. Some of them mainstream celebrities, some of them just people in high need.
Yeah.
So that's all coming out.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we're going to be parking somewhere for the next couple months. We're going to be actually parking and bringing people that fill out the one-on-one or transformation request forms that we have on our site. So we'll be bringing people in to us and doing those transformation stories. And some of them we're going to follow well afterwards. We're going to follow what happens, 3 months later, and what happens with their family and stuff like that. So this is turning into not just the simple fix of somebody, but how does this translate into their lives?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be powerful.
Yeah.
And they'll be able to sign up for that in the comments below?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, some of these people, they can't afford to fly anywhere, can't afford to come to receive help from anybody. And that's part of why we're fundraising, is to say, this is a case of somebody in India right now who has X, Y, and Z going on and they need help. Maybe we fly our team out there to support them. And, fundraising will allow us to not only help one-on-one, it would also allow us to go and travel and help people at a global scale, doing thousands of people in an event. So
we saw that when they brought Anouk over from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Within a couple of weeks, the community raised $10,000 to bring a girl who has been in a wheelchair for 20 years into do work with us.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And so just showing the power of support. We can't go, because I don't think in the release we've talked about this yet. I mean, you see us talking about it, but fascial release. This is insanely the most powerful thing that I've ever used as a supplement. For myself personally, I've been trying different doses, whether it's 2 a day, I tried 6 a day, just to see what happened. What I've noticed is that little aches and pains that were in my body, whether they would go away and then I'd have to develop a new routine around them. I found that the new routine was there instantaneously, and that my body, and that new movement pattern, and then my body got a chance to habituate that. I mean, it's remarkably changed my daily activities.
Yeah.
It's changed his ping pong game.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because you take it and, after a few days, I don't really notice the impact anymore because I habituate it so quickly. Like anytime we do something over and over again, it becomes your new normal. The only way you would know that it did anything is if you stop for a few days. So I think that that's been interesting, is I feel like when I take it, I don't feel the impact as much, even though it's because it's starting to keep me there.
That was the point, is that we optimize into that state right away. That's what the BDNF is in there. That it allows me to optimize to that state and make that normal quicker.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed, because it's affected my movement patterns. And I stopped taking it for 3 days, and then I take one, and then boom, again.
Well, you don't know the impact of something until it's gone.
Yeah.
So I think that that's important. And also I've seen a lot of comments of, we're just people talking about supplements and, us talking about supplements and endorsing them. And part of the conversation is we tell people all the time, that supplements aren't meant to be taken long term. They're there as a tool to help us get to where we want to go. And, a couple of things like you don't have minerals or silica or base elements in our food anymore. And for that reason, it's important to take things like Irish sea moss or diatomaceous earth or shilajit or anything that has high potency of minerals and nutrients that the body needs that we can't get in the food anymore. I mean, that I feel is something that we need to do forever, and getting it in the natural food form is the best way to do it. Supplements are just easy and convenient. But the other side of it is, if we're reducing inflammation and helping the brain and the body move better for a short period of time, that allows people to get over that hump that they're dealing with. So even if it's not something that you're doing long term, but it's something that you're using as a tool to get out of the place that you're in right now, I think that that's important. And so we recommend supplements that we take because these have helped us. And it supports our mission. It supports our movement. It allows us to go to places and help more people. And that's why these are here. It's to support people in their healing process, to give people the nutrients that they don't get in their food anymore,
the fascial release
and
is really
to just
good
help us
for
perform
mental
better.
focus.
Yeah.
I take that, then I'm more
I mean, if you're in
focused.
pain and you can't move, then it's harder to take care of yourself. So get your body moving and out of pain.
I am shocked that it's. I can take 2 of those and eliminate if I'm having a rough day, because doing a lot of movement. Like when we're doing a lot of treatment, my wrists, my hands, and stuff like that will get sore from working on people all day long. And I would take sometimes 6 or 8 Power Kirk after an event. So I tried to not take any Power Kirk, and I just took the fascial release, and then boom, it was like my brain forgot about it.
Yeah, the fascial release is really good for mental focus.
Yeah.
If I take that, then I'm more focused.
No, you got. I don't know if you have. They take it with the fuel at the same time.
Yeah, I
2 of
do.
those, 3 fuel or 4 for guys, and it's focus, concentration, and energy with optimization. It's a bizarre combination. It's super cool.
Yeah. Well, even when we gave it to people before the workshop, there was a very different demeanor. Like we'd do the hands-on workshops. When people would come in and we would work with them, it felt like we had to do
It was
more
noticeable.
to get to a feeling. But this, when we got the fascial release, I think we first got it in Anaheim, right, in Orange County. And we gave it to people before the workshop, and it was like everybody seemed different. Like it was easier to work with them.
They understood.
Which was important. I mean, if I'm a practitioner and I'm about to work with somebody, if I can do 30% of the work with 2 tablets before their session, it takes a lot of load off of me. So, we gave it to everybody who attended. They were moving better. They were more open. They were more receptive. So it just made the energy of us producing the workshop a lot less.
Yeah, it was noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to Mexico. We'll be shooting transformation series. If you have a transformation, sign up below. We're also looking for people that want to also go with a coach one-on-one. That link will be below as well. In addition to that, we're working hard to make these updates more regular. And I want to say one last thing. Thank you for all the support through our shadow banning, because we are not shadow banned anymore, and there is no more warning label. Yay. Oh, and the last thing, we crossed 1 million.
Yeah.
And we're almost about to cruise 300,000 on Facebook, and we didn't even know we were going there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we went from 10,000 on Instagram in 2022 to 1 million in 2024. So it's, I mean, it's...
One year for the last 100,000.
Yeah, it took longer for us to move in the last year, which is interesting because it seemed like our volume, for the size and for the posts that we have and the content we create, we weren't getting the reach or the engagement that you would expect, which tells me that there was even some turning back of our ability to reach people.
Yeah.
I think it was around the 800,000 mark. Like we went from 30,000 to 700,000 in the span of like 5 months. And then all of a sudden it started to slow down at that point. And I think that something had happened. And then what was interesting is like, you know, when we went to TikTok, it was 1 million in a month. We went to Facebook, it was 300,000 in like 3 months. Yeah. We went to Instagram, it was like, you know, 500,000, 600,000 in 5 months. So we've always had this huge growth curve, and then all of a sudden it gets scaled back. And I feel like it's because of the message that we're delivering to people.
Yeah.
So irrespective of our size or where we go, we've shown when they don't see us coming and we enter a new platform, we tend to have an insane amount of growth that I've never seen before. So
I want to remind everybody to follow us on X, because we do have our X account back, and formerly Twitter, for all you tweeters. We're working on starting that platform. Please follow us there. I want to remind you that. And again, we've got new partners and new partner stores. Please go check those out. When you buy from a partner store, it funds our mission. And if you have a question, we are answering tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of questions a month on our Instagram channel or through email. Feel free to do that, or through Facebook. And we have a team of people to help and answer and support you. So we're signing off for today. We'll see you in the next week or so and let you know what the next part of our tour is.
thank you.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed the episode and you want to see more of our content, remember to subscribe to our channel. Together, we can inspire 1 billion people to heal themselves.